An opposition combing through this plan and really saying the government could have gone much further here.
Yeah, that's right. And they've been echoing a lot of the points that you've heard in Paul's report just a moment ago. A lot of people saying that these measures really aren't targeted and that those who are feeling the pinch the most from this inflation crisis aren't really getting the help that they might have hoped they were going to get from this government package. And maybe that is slightly borne out when you have a deep dive into what the government has announced and you see exactly who it applies to. We'll start first of all with the electricity credit. That's going to apply to every single home in the country, €200 per household including VAT, 2.1 million recipients, which will include those who have holiday homes. They will be able to claim it on the double, and that accounts for 378 million of the around 500 million announced yesterday. Moving on to fuel allowance, that is the other major linchpin in this package yesterday. It will cost a total of 49 million, as you can see, a €125 lump sum to everyone who currently qualifies for the fuel allowance. That is 325,000 people who are on lower incomes. Moving further down the list, and the next biggest item in the government's plan is the drug payment scheme, the monthly threshold, the cap on how much you can pay for prescription drugs being lowered to €80. Not really clear how many recipients that will apply to, but again, total cost of 17 million. And the final thing that we're going to look at, which is the most targeted, you might say, the working family payment. That's a payment paid to people who do have incomes but are still struggling to make ends meet. A €10 increase, which was due to happen in July, being brought forward to April. That will affect around 50,000 people. But Sinn Féin have been looking at that whole package and they say that simply not enough is being done to target those who are on lower incomes.
And for somebody in this city, for example, who's paying €2,000 in rent, and that rent is to be paid every month, going to the community welfare officer for a one-off payment might get you over a hurdle last Christmas, but you can't go again this month, and that's the problem. That's why the Minister should have come forward with the policies that were appropriate, freezing rents, but more importantly, putting a month's rent back into renters' pockets.
Now, Sinn Féin have also taken issue with something that Leo Varadkar, the Taoiseach, said in his interview last night on The Tonight Show on Virgin Media 1. Leo Varadkar suggested that one solution out of this inflation crisis would be for the ECB to raise interest rates, but Pearse Doherty says that actually could do more harm than good. He says that this current issue is not caused by an issue with people's supply or people not having enough money. It's simply a case of, raised with demand, it's an issue of supply, where the economy is choked up, supply chains are interrupted, and that's why there is the crisis that there is. He says that raising inflation or raising interest rates would not actually address that. What it would actually do is then add more money to people's mortgage repayments, immediately for those on trackers and then inevitably for those on other households. He says that Leo Varadkar should withdraw that claim, and now he wants to know whether other ministers in Cabinet think the same as Leo Varadkar does.